Packers Corner, we're back at it again, and we're doing just what Schmitty thought we might. We're backing into the playoffs. We clinched last week. We should have a big celebration, right? We got it done. So no black from the boys tonight here, so that's good. No funeral attire.
Right.
Yeah, okay, there's a hint. I hope you guys both had a Merry Christmas. We're going to break down the Packers game. At least Malik Willis was out there playing. I don't know about the rest of the troops. And we'll talk about the week to come here and maybe a little glance toward the playoffs and see how long that might last for us. We'll see you boys on the other side.
The autumn wind is a packer, blustering in from the bay. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, banging the drum all day. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a cheese-filled cache with a green and gold cape on his back and a frozen stiff mustache. He rumbles across the tundra, a hero brave and bold. And the fans all cheer and raise their beer as he fights through rain and cold. The autumn wind is a packer, tackling just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and bask in the Titletown sun.
Well, gentlemen, I have to shout out another Packers podcast here, Audible Angle. Schmitty, have you tuned in at all?
A little bit of Audible Angle. I'm all about the Audible Angle. I'm listening.
Yeah, so Derek Crumry's uncle, dad, Jim Dillenberg, and his buddy Irby were kind enough. They had me on as a guest. It was a little weird to be on the other side of things here. And they wanted to talk a little River Falls Falcons football. So we'll have to tease that. I think they said Saturday that is coming out. So stay tuned for that. And I said, maybe we might have to get their Packer perspective at a future date too. So we'll work on all that. But I wanted to shout out those guys and tell them thank you. On the other hand here, I don't know that I could thank the Packers' defensive performance from this previous week. Have you seen a more pitiful attempt to stop the run game in all your years as a Packer fan, Dad?
I'm trying to get over the fact that you're two-timing us with this Audible Angle thing here. At least you come right out with it right away.
That was offensive. I didn't know that was it. Is that what they said to Paul Farrington when he joined us? I don't think this is a controversial.
I take that pitiful defensive performance.
Wow.
Then you're freelancing out on the side without any team meetings or anything. I'm like, I don't know.
I didn't know I was contractually obligated. I didn't realize this was controversial. I'm sorry.
It would be hard to imagine a more pitiful run defense. But if you go back to the 80s, it was almost every game. Almost every game. John Jefferson and James Lofton and Lynn Dickey are scoring points up and down. It just doesn't matter because we're going to give up 40 or 50. You remember that wonderful game in 1983 when we beat the Redskins 48-47. People don't remember Monday Night Thriller. You know how we won? The Redskins missed a 42-yard field goal at the buzzer. We never stopped them. So anyway, that you guys don't understand that, you young lads.
Well, the formula, Dad, and they must have had it in that game that you're referencing is you just score every time. You don't punt. Except we've done that 3 times this year and lost all 3 of them. So what do you do then?
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, then what you do is you turn on the television the next night and you watch the 49ers and the Bears play the same kind of defense and you go, maybe we're okay. Getting Jordan Love back there and just score every time. And apparently that's what the Bears and 49ers did. And then I watched Cleveland beat Aaron Rodgers with everything on the line for Pittsburgh. And then I watched the Rams with everything on the line lose to Atlanta and Kirk Cousins. Hey, that just doesn't matter. Get to the postseason and we'll see what happens. I think it just doesn't matter. I got a little story for you, but let's build up to that. I got an analogy. I got a metaphor. I've thought this thing through. Well, what
We'll
a
hear from
crazy-
Schmitty, but we'll earmark
crazy
that.
NFL this year. Just unbelievable.
Well, Schmitty, I think we got to talk a little bit about Malik Willis, maybe a lot about Malik Willis. We have kind of scoffed at the idea that there's any sort of a quarterback controversy on this show, and I don't know that we're going to quite change our tune on that. But I do think it's fair to ask, has Jordan Love had a game as dialed in his whole career as we saw from Malik Willis there? He didn't miss a throw the whole night. What did you think about that?
Griffey, I wanted to say, like, the reason I'm not wearing a shirt tonight, okay, is the fact that Matt LaFleur had to address the media and say, Jordan Love is our franchise quarterback. He will be our starter. I didn't want to be looped in with those imbeciles that even would utter the breath that Jordan Love would play second fiddle to Malik Willis. So shirts off, because if I wore my shirt, I'd be in with those bozos. So I'm not doing that. But I want to respect the game that Malik Willis had, because it was fantastic. He looked dynamite. I'm trying to recall a game that Jordan played as good. I don't know. That Cowboys game when we went down as a 7 seed to win, I mean, he looked dynamite there. That comeback against the Saints, his first season, like, he's had flashes. I don't know if he's put a complete game like Malik did on Saturday night. What a fantastic showing. And so you tip your cap to the kid that has been with us for a couple seasons now. He's going to get a nice payday after this year. He's not going to be with us anymore, but you respect the fact that he's come as long as he has, knowing that the Titans didn't really give him a good shake, and Matt has kind of put him under his wing, if you will, and Malik has been really comfortable in this offense, and it showed on Saturday night. It gave us a chance to win a football game, if not for allowing over 200 yards to Derrick Henry.
Well, the only guy who maybe had a worse night than the 11 on our defensive front and coordinator and the whole works there was whoever was managing the pain for Malik Willis. They had a slip up there. We needed an extra shot at halftime. What the heck's going on? If he doesn't come out of that ball game, we might have a different story just on that alone. That was pretty frustrating. Also, you feel a little bit bad for Clayton Tune. He didn't do anything wrong on that pass that got picked off. It was just a little bit unfortunate, but dude, what the heck? I mean, we know this guy's got a shoulder problem. He's clearly got an injection prior to the game. Otherwise, he wouldn't be throwing the ball. That seemed like pretty gross mismanagement, too.
Well, I don't know. Apparently, the efficacy of the painkiller wore off. They didn't titrate the right number of cubic centimeters in that syringe. And if that was the case, how does a guy throw the ball any more accurately? But you guys are so soon and so quick to forget that Jordan Love had a perfect passer rating in the Dallas game until Tucker Kraft dropped the last pass of the game in that game. I mean,
that was a heck of a game. That's true.
You were there to watch him complete 20 passes in a row and set the club record. I mean, do you guys have amnesia? I mean, there's nothing I want to say to denigrate Malik Willis, because I love the guy, but it almost sounds like when you defend Jordan Love, you're diminishing what Willis has done, and that just isn't right. I think, the main thing now, if he wears purple next year, that it's Baltimore purple, not Viking purple. And I would think Baltimore might be a good chance with the apparent little discrepancy they're having with Lamar Jackson, or if Aaron Rodgers retires, why wouldn't you go straight to Pittsburgh? Arizona Cardinals has been another place that's been mentioned, and man, what a ball player. I still don't get it. Why you can't get those two guys on the field at the same time and run some read options, just split Jordan Love out, take somebody over there with you, have a series of plays, 3 or 4 plays every game, and you come on, get a little Ben Johnson gene going and get something creative and use this kid who's an absolute stud. He's 225 pounds. I didn't know this. He's 225 pounds, runs a 4.4 40. It's like putting another running back on the field who can throw the football. It's just a crime not to use this guy. So I think maybe that's my comeback.
Well, and I'm not quite with the bozos, Schmitty. I'm not pining to make Malik the starter. I'm not quite there with, Papa. Your dad, I think, is on that train. But I'm a lot closer than I was a week ago. I'm a lot closer than I was a week ago.
Jersey, send it right over to Papa because I think that's the one he wants to wear, and then, it's hard to tell him not to.
I think there's more to that. I think we're going to be really sad to see this kid play somewhere else. I just hope, we'll see how sad is the only question there. But we're married to Jordan Love. We got to be, supportive of that. He's
gentlemen. There's 55 million reasons why.
Yeah,
it's Jordan Love, and not even to mention the performance. But that's
if you were starting a franchise, Dad, would you rather have Malik Willis for 10 to 15 million or Jordan Love for 55?
That's a hypothetical, and I don't deal in hypotheticals. Moving on.
I think that's all we needed to hear. I think that's all we needed to hear. What about maybe a positive note, a silver lining from this game, Schmitty? We going to get to keep Mr. Halfley around for another year?
It appears so, doesn't it? I think even the way he talked prior to this game, maybe a few games back, when talking about Micah and what records he thinks he's going to break next season, I just kind of alluded to the fact that Halfley would still stick around. I maybe that he was at least going to have some talks, right, with the Giants and maybe a couple other teams this offseason, but that's kind of status quo with really any coordinator that has a good, strong season. It's just good to put yourself in those types of situations. But I think Halfley, regardless of the success that they were going to have this year, was still going to come back. Maybe he takes the Giants job. I don't know if there's any other ones that he would really consider. How do you, knowing full well that you had Snoop Huntley, I think that was pretty much determined to the beginning of the week that they were going to run the ball 40 times. Like, they knew it was coming. And so the fact that Matt LaFleur made comment to the fact that our defensive linemen and linebackers, like, they weren't in the right gaps, they weren't playing the scheme correctly. Like, how does that happen? Knowing that our defensive, like, rushing prowess this year has been really good. We've been a pretty stout defense when it comes to opposing rushers. So good Lord, man.
307 yards.
307 yards. Derrick Henry, 215 on 35 carries. They literally just gashed us, and you're just watching the TV, and like it was just a slow car wreck. You knew it was coming the whole time, and we just had nothing to say about it. Rashawn Gary's silly thing when Micah went down, like, watch how the defensive line responds. That guy's I can't wait to see him gone next year. He'll be a cut here in the off season because he provides nothing. They knew it was coming and they couldn't stop it, and that's why we lost the game. So, thank God, thank the Minnesota Vikings giving us a Christmas present. Otherwise, we were in for a war this coming week. So, shirts off.
Well, Dad, you talk about getting Malik Willis and Jordan Love on the field at the same time. Maybe we got to put the only guy with some heart out there in the middle of the defensive front. Maybe that's where we need to have him.
Which guy has heart on the defense?
No, Malik Willis has heart. I'm saying put him out there. I'm joking, of course, but
yeah. Well, we're at this point, I don't know.
We found somebody with heart.
We talk about the frozen stiff mustache. Holy mackerel, what a big frozen stiff mustache for Rashawn Gary. It's almost unbelievable to imagine the heights from which he has fallen. I remember when he came back from the ACL, right in the beginning in 2023, he was rushing off the edge. Nobody could stop him. They had to double team him. He had a half a tackle in this game. He hasn't had a sack for 9 games. I don't know if the guy's just washed or if his
he never produced in college.
Playing psychological games with him or what? I don't know. It's just
he tricked us. He tricked us, guy. I mean, he was top 5. He was top 5 for a flash. Got a contract, and we haven't seen him
since he got the list. That's what
we saw a spark
what does the guy do once he gets paid, right? And it hasn't been
we did see a spark from LVN out there. Maybe one of the better performances he's put in.
Yes. It's compared to Rashawn Gary, any two pieces of metal that come together as a spark, and LVN did. He certainly played better than Rashawn Gary. as crazy as it was, guys, when Malik made that comeback and made it 27-24 in the third quarter, and they had 3rd and 5 on their own 20, and they run the ball for 9 yards. If you get a stop there and get the punt, and Malik gets the ball back, you might just be able to pull that thing
We had
out.
a chance. There's no doubt.
And then even if Malik doesn't go out with a 34-24, and Malik has the ball when he makes that nice out pass right across the field, a 50-yard throw for a 10-yard, bench pattern, and his arm goes out on him, at that point, you're still in the game too. It's almost like all these things have conspired against us. So I'm just going to tell you, the NFL season is like a marathon. Gentlemen, about a year before you were born, Griff, and about the time you were born, Schmitty, I decided I needed to run Grandma's marathon. Okay? And I had tried to run the marathon when I lived in California, and my mentor, Griff's namesake, Dr. John Griffin, took me out for a 15-mile run the first day we trained for the marathon, and I pulled a muscle in my calf, and I said, I'll never run the marathon. One of my patients was a complicated contact lens patient. He said, he came in 6 times. By the end of the 6th time, we're going to get you to run that marathon. You got to ease up to it. You got to train for it, and so on and so forth. You can't be running 15 miles the first day. You got to build up. Anyway, I built up, and two weeks before the marathon, I ran in the A-Lark run, a 20-mile run. And I sprinted that last mile. I felt so good. I was the king of the world. I only had 6 miles more than that to do in the marathon 2 weeks later. And in a training run going down by University of River Falls, we used to practice, Griff, a 7-miler. That next week, I pulled the muscle in my calf again 2 weeks before the marathon. Anyway, run the marathon. I somehow show up. I get therapy on the leg. My buddy Bob puts me on the starting line. Guard, just start the race and see what happens. So I run the race, and I'm trying to favor the calf, and at 18 miles, we're running with a group of runners, and I'm thinking, golly, I've made it 18 miles. This might be okay. And the guy goes, well, we've made it halfway through the race. I go, what do you mean halfway? 18 miles. Yeah, half the effort. Now we got the other half for the last 8 miles. And we get up to Grandma's Hill there, and I run up that hill, and I got 2 miles to go, and my quads lock up on me. This is like the NFL season. It's a marathon, and these guys can barely see the light at the end of the tunnel. Bob pulls me up. He goes, you're not stopping here. Stretch your quads, and we're going to finish this thing. And I get through to the last half mile, and I was able to kind of sprint. I got my wind again, and I could feel the wind in my sails, and there was something to fight for. And that's what happened to Baltimore and Green Bay. They had their last gasp. It was a much more desperate team. I look at Atlanta trying to prove something against the Rams. Hey, there is no dominant team. The Bills are a shell of themselves. The Eagles can't play offense. The Niners have no defense. Sam Darnold is regressing over there in Seattle. Just give me one win. Give me one win in the playoffs, and let's see where we are. So it's a crazy year. It's a crazy league. Are we going all the way? I can't promise you that, but it sure is wide open, boys. Let's see what happens.
All the way. I thought you were going another direction. You said you could kind of sprint on the way in. I would be okay with the Packers kind of sprinting here from here on out. That would be something. Do you think that's possible? A kind of sprint, kind of run, kind of jog even would be okay. Is that possible, Schmitty?
It certainly is. You know what? Us losing on Saturday night, and now we're going to get seemingly a bye against the Vikings. This was about if you've ever welcomed me into your home to watch a Packers game, you know I'm a tad boisterous, okay? And so watching Saturday night's game, it was about as calm as I have ever been. And I was like, you know what, probably a good thing that I'm watching this by myself. I wouldn't want people to think that, I'm just putting on a show every time I go out into the wild. This kind of just worked out in our favor, knowing where, like, there was an image on X over the week. You had Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons, Jordan Love all standing there after Sunday night when we beat the Steelers in that incredible game. And none of them were playing on Saturday. And you're just like, this is our fate. And injuries happen. We got bit really badly. And so whatever happens this season at this point is kind of just, it's all gravy if you're even competitive in any of these games going forward. And I think we can be competitive, certainly. You chip in a chair. You heard that expression before, Griffey, in the poker realm of things.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, you just show up. You just battle your way, and maybe, just maybe, you make a min cash, and you walk home. You have a vanilla milkshake because you're proud that you played with a short stack for 17 hours and grinded your way for just getting your money back, essentially. Griffey, I would say us going on the road and beating either the Eagles or the Bears would be a bit more substantial than just getting your money back, knowing where the aspirations, at what point we were. We had one win, one tie, and what was our record going into the Steelers? We were arguably the best team in football. You have all these injuries. And so you just hope that your team can show up. And it's kind of really, it's just a portrayal of what Matt has to say about this game and leading men inside the locker room, which at times you question if he really has a grasp of what the locker room pulse is. And so be competitive, show up, try to get up those last 2 miles up the hill for grandma's race. Just show resiliency. If you do that, again, we're proud of this team. They accomplished what I needed to see, make the playoffs. Granted, it wasn't a win on Saturday. They're in the playoffs nonetheless. It would have been a disaster had they not made it. Here they are. Let's see what happens.
Well, I think it's crazy to reflect on. You just remind me. There was a point in time where we were the Vegas favorites to win the Super Bowl in this very season. Doesn't that seem like another lifetime ago? What in the heck? Obviously the injuries happen, but on the Vegas front, I want to get your guys' perspective on another matter because you guys kind of, especially Schmitty, nailed it last week on reflecting on who the quarterback might be playing come Sunday or come Saturday a week ago. And Schmitty said Vegas knows it's either going to be both Lamar and Jordan or it's going to be Huntley and Malik, and he was spot on. Dad, I think you said there was a 100% chance that Jordan was going to play, and that wasn't quite correct. But what do you think about the Vikings quarterback? Who are we going to be facing off against this year or this week?
Well, I guarantee you, if the Vikings had not won the ball game on Christmas Day, Jordan Love would play in that game. And you can't convince me otherwise. He practiced. He took every first team snap. He played every down in the practice. They didn't give Malik any practice time. He was going to play in that game, and now they've hidden whether he passed the protocol or not. I don't know if anybody's asked him directly, but Jordan Love was going to play in that game if they needed to win. So there's the first answer to your question. Give me a chair. Give me a chip. I'm at the table. I got a chance. Chip, chair, and a chance, right, Schmitty?
Amen.
That's what it is, and we're in the tournament. We got a chip, chair, and a chance. We got a.
Is that what Max Brosmer's going to be saying this week, or is it going to be John Wolford, or is it going to be J.J. McCarthy, or Brett Rippon?
Anybody in this game that it isn't hardly even worth talking about. I'm not going to predict us to win. Maybe we'll win. LaFleur learned his lesson when Christian Watson went down last year in a meaningless game when we were already in the playoffs, tore his ACL and wasn't eligible to play in the playoffs. He's not going to do that again. And so it's going to be a like a preseason game. I don't know, maybe Love will get a series or two. They're not going to make any, there's guys who are going to have to play hard. They're playing for their jobs, right? But we're not going to try to trot the guys out there who are going to put themselves at risk of injury. So that will not be the case.
Well, to that end, do you even play a Malik Willis? Or we go Clayton Tune's got to be the man, right? For the majority of the game.
I don't know. I think Jordan will probably get a series or two. I don't know where Malik is with his arm. Yeah, maybe it's Jordan and then turn it over to Mr. Tune. I'm not sure, but there was no reason to put anybody at risk out there. You're
on board with that, Schmitty?
A successful game on Sunday will be us without any injuries walking out of that stadium. That's a win. And so I don't know how you can manipulate the practice squad in situations on a one-off. Empty the clip, get all the practice squad guys out, suit them up, do whatever you have to do, bend the rules a little bit. We can't have any more meaningful guys play. Get Rashawn out there, let him play every snap. We cannot lose anyone of importance going into what probably is Soldier Field.
What's your sense on the Vikings quarterback situation, Schmitty?
Who cares, Griffey? This team,
nickel
Max
defense.
Rosmer,
who cares?
The fact that they had this kid had negative passing yards. Okay, and without that one little, what was it? A little shuffle
three.
pass.
I thought he had +3 net passing yards.
Yeah, burning it up. You know what? I'm glad that JJ McCarthy showed a little bit of flash when he came back, because that means they have no choice but to bring him back next year and see what he can do as a starter. And it's going to play itself out all over again. You're going to have 9 1 week, and then you're going to have 99 because all the teams going to score 99 points because they picked them off a bunch of times. Let them have fun with this. It's really good for the other 3 teams in the division. So I'm happy. The only thing that will make me very disappointed is, yes, if Malik Willis decides to sign a $50 million guaranteed contract with the Vikes for a couple of years, that would concern me, because they still have a roster. If you can find a reputable quarterback, that they would vie for a playoff spot.
Yeah, that would be sort of a doomsday scenario. I want to see whoever gives them the highest chance of losing Justin Jefferson. Wouldn't that be fun to see that guy demand his way out of there, see that unfold? And I think it's possible. They're kind of at it. And they might lose KOC too, who I think we all agree is a pretty good coach. If JJ McCarthy can bring everyone down with him, I'm sure we wouldn't be too upset about it all. But it'll be interesting to see if he's the guy again Sunday. At least I'll be paying attention to that. It doesn't sound like you guys have an overwhelmingly positive set of picks for us to go through this week, but we better put something out there. Dad, what's your official pick on this Packers versus Vikings matchup?
And I think Schmitty would put his stamp of approval on this take that I have here, that the Packers are just crazy like a fox. I mean, all these other teams are bashing their brains out to try to get a 1-game bye, and we just slide in the back door and take the 2-game bye. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's true. Crazy like a fox. Rest up the guys for 2 weeks. Good Lord, Atlanta could go in and win a playoff game. Cleveland could probably go in and win a playoff game. Why can't we in the wide open NFC? Not guaranteeing it, but get everybody healthy and then just sneak in. No, we are so under the wire. Expectations are so low, boys. And yeah, we have had. You really can't take more prominent players out without taking the quarterback out than Micah Parsons, Devontae Wyatt, and Tucker Kraft, and our starting center, who wasn't everything he was cracked up to be. But normally you don't want your starting center out right up there. So there you go. And now we're playing with house money. We got a chip chair and a chance. And let's bring it on. What was the question?
Who are you picking?
I abstain.
Okay. On to the next one here. Schmitty, who are you taking?
I'm just enjoying this because last year this time I wanted to reach through the screen and wring Gar's neck because he thought that there was still some fire and zest in us, and I knew that we were completely dead going into the playoffs. And I know we very well might be completely dead, but I don't really have that inkling this year. And it's just kind of let's see what happens. I'd love the Packers to go down. It would be so delicious if we end up finding a way to win in Soldier Field, which I would imagine that it'll be maybe we're 3-point dogs. It won't be much. Vegas will still believe in us to take on the Bears. Hopefully Sunday night, prime time. You want my prediction for Sunday at noon?
We got to put it out there.
We lose by 23, and I'm so happy. I'm smitten by it because no one got injured. We literally what's the kid's name?
Clayton Tune.
Yeah. Tune had 71 kneel downs. He just kept kneeling the ball. Maybe we lose. Maybe it's like the most just grotesque game you've ever seen. We lose like.
Why don't we forfeit, Schmitty? Why do we show up?
I was hoping. Can we do that? Is that a thing? I'm being serious. Is that actually a thing? Does the NFL allow that?
There's no way the NFL would allow that. But
okay, well, all right, fine. But literally, how cool would it be? You just see us snap the ball and we take a knee the entire game. It would be respect. Then it would just dispel all this. They want to add 19 games, 20 games. Just be done with it. Christ, how many games? What is there? 2 games that actually mean something on this coming weekend? Just be done with it, man. Okay, kneel the ball out. Maybe we take a look at this whole operation that we call the NFL and seeding and games and how many we play and who we play against. Kneel the ball out, come out of this whole thing healthy. We lose by 23. You want to score probably, Griffey, huh? 30-7. I'll give us 1 touchdown. Maybe we do something cool with Toon. I don't know.
Well, one rule change that Matt LaFleur certainly benefited from is the fact that there's 7 playoff teams. How do we feel about Matt LaFleur if these years we've been sneaking in as the 7th seed? We're sitting at home, Dad.
Just get in. Chip, chair, and a chance. They make the rules, and then we follow them and get in the tournament.
You drew a line in the sand with Matt LaFleur earlier this year. Can you imagine where you would have been if we missed the playoffs multiple years?
We don't need to relitigate this. I gave him tough love. He has responded. You know what, guys?
Has he?
Think of this. When has he turned Jordan Love loose the way he turned Malik Willis loose in this game? What I'm begging for, Schmitty, all year, play action pass. Play action pass 2/3. He play action pass 90% of the time, and it worked. Coach, take a look at the film. Free Jordan Love. Treat him like you treat your backup, and let's go play ball and throw the ball around the yard and see what happens.
I'm going to pick this so that it doesn't happen. Hopefully I can speak it out of existence. But I'm going to say the Packers win and then go and lose to the Bears. That's what I'll say, and we'll speak it right out of existence.
Right about anything all year,
I haven't hit a pick all year, so I'm doing my part. And it would be sacrilegious to go the other way. You wouldn't want to see me picking the other way. So we'll put that down for this week. Schmitty, do you have any? Well, sign off the regular season here, where there's more to come, of course. Well, let's sign off the regular season, if you would, for me, my friend.
You know what? Micah Parsons tweeted today something about, God is good. He feels great. I think Mr. McKenzie, shout out Doc McKenzie, his last season with the Green Bay Packers. I think he was the gentleman that performed surgery on old Micah's knee there. And so be grateful that you have a future Hall of Famer that's going to come back greater than ever next year. Hopefully he can suit up come September. This regular season, the highs and lows, the yo-yo, I don't know if my former self, when we first started recording, if I could have, I think I needed those tests. God gives you tests every once in a while, and I think he was testing us for some seasons so that we could have a good outlook, a positive outlook on what this season has been. And by God's grace, we're in the playoffs. We got literally nothing to lose. You pray that you show up and you play the Bears tough. We get this 2-week bye. What a fantastic thing. I'm just trying to be grateful for what this season is, because for a while there, I wanted to be, with the fishies, Griffey, and I wanted toaster time. I was waking up and I had the toaster beside my bed. I was clutching it at night. And really the last, week and a half, I've just had a really zen attitude this whole time. So I hope that I can bestow that upon our listeners that, hey guys, you know what? Thanks for riding with us this whole season. It's been fantastic. We do get meaningful football yet. And we probably get to do it against Chicago Bears, which should mean the absolute most to you. And so I'm excited for that week when we get to preview it here next Tuesday. Grateful for everyone. Grateful for you too. Let's get us another Lombardi, huh?
Schmitty turning over a new leaf. Look at this mental fortitude that he has. Being a Packer fan, that has been character building these last couple of years. We had a lot of years where there was not much character to be built because we had it so easy. So I think it's good to see Schmitty turning over a new leaf here, and I like the attitude. Maybe, just maybe, that's the right attitude we need to take into the postseason. We'll see how it unfolds. Dad, do you have a cheese for us?
Well, Schmitty, the great philosopher, the Socrates, the great
wise
theologian,
sage,
Martin Luther King, Martin Luther, whichever one, either way you want to go with it, and shades and echoes of First Thessalonians chapter 5. Live joyfully as much as possible. Pray continuously. Be grateful in all circumstances. Preach it out, brother. I'm with you. I'm hearing you. This Packer season teaches us to do this, doesn't it? Now listen, the flock, the faithful, who we're preaching to right now, listens every week to the very end because they want a little gem. And I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to stand here and watch while you guys badmouth the United States of America. But do you know that there's a cornerback by the name of Trayvon Diggs who used to play for the Dallas Cowboys, who happens to be a very good, hey, you can't say any cornerback wouldn't be better than what we got over there that can't tackle, can't catch, can't cover, by the name of Carrington, who we loved, Griff. By the way,
he can cover.
Oh my gosh, he can cover what? He's missed more tackles and more footballs. I think he's blind in one eye.
He can't tackle very well. He can't catch. But I like his coverage skills.
Bring on Diggs, the Parsons' good buddy, and let's see if he's got anything left.
Dad, you just ruined Schmitty's Zen attitude here. Or maybe I did.
I'm just telling you, just a hot take out there now.
Dad, I got a quick question for you. Do you know what the passer rating is when Trayvon Diggs has been targeted this year?
158.3, just about like Carrington Valentine, but at least he can tackle.
I take back what I said. Oh God!
What Schmitty?
If we saw,
what's the least?
No, I can't follow. Go ahead.
What's the least savory cheese you can have for a game? Velveeta. We're going Velveeta for this game because we got nothing going on. It's just stock Velveeta, and let's move on to the playoff. And listen, faithful, we got at least 2 more of these we're going to do this year. And maybe, just maybe, we can have a little fun before it's all over. Keep hope alive.
Have a good evening, boys. Good to be with you, and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Love you.